Alright, YouTube, it's the moment you've been waiting for.
Fortnite's Easter update is here with free rewards.
Alright, the good. The lead mechanic weapon skill tree thing looks pretty cool. I'm kind of worried about the implementation, but I'm sure it'll be okay after the first 2 weeks of updates. Now the 9 new Vol skills, some of those are going to be pretty good, especially Vol Arctic Armor. That looks especially good. It gives you like basically immunity. You can see them tanking the X-Arc explosion skill in the their release video. So that'll be pretty cool, especially for hardcore, with some other defensive options being nerfed. The Atlas Tree gateways allow you to use less travel points is another thing that is quite good. Allow you to use less lame travel point nodes on your Atlas Tree, because a lot of it's just taken up by going across the whole thing. So now you can just teleport across it instead of having to spend 20 nodes getting somewhere. There's 10 new uniques. Don't know how many are actually good yet. A few are released. The suppression jewel looks good. The weird glove things with chill and lightning look bad, but yeah, so hopefully some of those are pretty cool. Currency size sack increase. Oh yeah, that's a large one. Large sack increase. Goes from 10 to 20. Now I'd like to see it be higher, but it's a good step in the right direction. So now when you trade for 5 divines, now you still have to trade twice instead of once, but I mean instead of 4 times, but I don't know. Basically, still not enough. But good. It's good. The Breach and Abyss update looks pretty good. They felt kind of outdated. Breach is probably, well, those actually have some good and bad to them, but overall it's good. It needed some modernization updates. And the uniques are especially buffed and look pretty good. Especially the Abyss ones. A lot of Abyss jewel stacking support there. New interesting masteries. So there's some good ones, but also some bad ones were removed. But interesting ones are like, if you use all 6 life masteries, you get 10% more life, which is different than increase. It's just 10% more, which is much better. Saboteur and Pathfinder update. Saboteur is kind of changing identity a little. It's not completely traps and mines now. Now they have something called trigger bots, which might be one of the most unique things they've introduced in a while. Essentially, it gives you like 2 trigger bots, and what they do is they follow you around, and then whenever you trigger a skill, aka with like cast on crit, spell slinger, whatever form of triggering you have, they will also use those skills. So you essentially have 2 things following around and like doubling your amount of skills, or tripling, because you go from 1 to 3. So Pathfinder update has some other good stuff. Get a ton of regen by your flasks, essentially not stopping when you reach full life, and I'll just keep going as like a huge regen. Withered on hit, some other interesting things as well. Looks like Toxic Rain will be pretty juicy on it. Crystal skin mod, kind of heading into the minor things here now. Basically, when you it's an on-death effect and a bunch of crystals explode on you. They nerfed it, they made it do less damage, but it's also now chaos damage, so it might actually end up being a buff to it in a bad way early game. If you have no chaos res in maps, then it explodes on you and get one shot, so you have -60 chaos res, but hopefully it's more of a nerf, not a buff. They also made it slower and I think more noticeable, but it remains to be seen how much change that really makes, but hopefully it's good. Essence on Kirak mods, not Xana. So you get good essences, and that's always good for early league crafting. And then some other various QL additions, which are minor. The bad. Some important masteries were removed, namely like Determination and Grace Reservation. This is kind of made up for with the new mana mastery. Gives you just 12% across the book. So no large meta shakeup, so I mean still probably going to see a bit of a seismic trap here and there. But it'll probably be mostly the same skills as before. Some new things may show up and some things may be gone, but largely it's still the same. No more leveling with breachstones in earlier characters. So what they did was they made breachstones start at level 81. So if you wanted to you got to maps at like level 65 or something, you'd blast a few of those and get up to 80 really quickly. But now they start at 81, so you can't really do that. Poison concoction, potentially dead. They made it now. Every projectile you throw, it takes 1 flash charge away. So instead of only taking 2 flash charges per thrown out, it might take like 5 if you have 5 projectiles, or 10 if you have 10. And that's not very good. Blade Blast is potentially dead. They took away the Blade Mastery, where it has like a chance to give you 2 blades instead of 1 and increases your blade cap to 40 to 50. So that's a pretty big nerf there. I mean, Blade Blast was already not really doing too good. It was on like its last legs, and now it's probably dead. Another one they removed is no de-leveling book, which I'm kind of confused why they did that, because it was a pretty niche thing, and I don't get it. Deletes infinite heist, so you can't infinite heist anymore, and it makes foothill farming more annoying, so you just gotta watch your XP more, so you can't go over a certain level on foothills, or you can't farm betrayal there anymore. And a few other things will be affected by that, like no level 1 name and lights at the start of the league, but that's whatever. The really bad and ugly, what were they thinking? Why is this in the game now? They should revert these changes immediately. They basically, at least how it looks, leveling through the axe is slower, and I'll guess it'll probably be out 20 to 30% slower. I don't know why they do this. Nobody likes axe. Like, nobody likes going through the axe multiple times, and nobody wants to be slower. I mean, some people maybe do, but they're probably playing the wrong game in that case. But regardless of that, they removed the Onslaught gem. Why? I don't know. They're pleased with Momentum gem. It remains to be seen if it'll be as impactful or maybe better. I doubt it'll be better. I don't know why it'd be better in this other changes, but so they almost certainly just made it slower across the board. Wand and Scepter Flat Damage Craft removed, which carried spells. Very, very hard. Now, some people might be thinking, well, it's made up for. Now the flat damage is on the implicit. Well, the spell damage implicits were also good, and you're not guaranteed to get spell damage on the wands you get. And checking, I did a little bit of a checking in POB earlier. So the worst case scenario is you get like 50% of your damage is gone. The best case scenario is you get 20% of your damage is gone. So it'll probably land somewhere in the middle there. And I mean, just why? Just why? It doesn't really make an impact at endgame at all. So just why? Various leveling skills were nerfed. The steel skills, Spark is nerfed. And then Arcane Surge is also nerfed. Instead of giving you more damage now, it just gives you some cast speed. Just why? There's still time for them to revert this. They'll definitely revert this for sure, 100%. This will definitely be reverted. If this isn't reverted, then I will eat an Italian sub from Subway on March 23rd, 2024. But yeah, that's about it. Overall, just why. I don't really understand why. I mean, I'm just really stunlocked over this. But overall, I think the patch will be pretty good. I think there's a lot more benefits than negatives, and we'll see how it ends up playing. But should be a solid league overall, besides the leveling nerfs.